Thank you so much. Great to be here. Another week together with you, and we look forward to closing out the week with you.
Fred, you and I were hanging out this week at the Coliseum, your old home, when you played so many years with the legendary Los Angeles Rams, now back in L.A. And it was an all-access where the fans could come out and walk around and greet you. And people were loving you, not only for your, of course, stardom and all the fame that you had in Hunter and Agent X and Crisis and Land's End and all the other good shows, movies, etc., but they were coming to you because of your prowess, your expertise, your finesse of being an all-pro defensive end, and especially they were talking about those two safeties in one game. Many people said a legend that will never be broken.
Well, you'd have to get 3 by one player in the game.
And this was in the same quarter, for gosh sakes, that this happened.
Yeah.
It was Green Bay. It was Jim DelGacio, and who was the other quarterback?
Scott Hunter.
Scott Hunter.
You want to write that down?
Yeah, Scott Hunter.
It's just 7 years into the show. I think we've discussed this.
You later took that name Scott Hunter because you were so enamored by it and named your character after Scott, right?
I have a fake passport with his
Scott Hunter
name on it.
Rick Hunter.
Yeah, just in case.
So it was really fun. There was a lot of food and everything. And I caught you out at the end zone. Were you looking at the area where the safeties occurred?
We were eating in that area. They set up the buffet and all the tables there for all the interviews with the coach and the general manager and Commissioner Goodell. You know, I had a nice little chat with him.
Yeah. You actually, that is true. The president of the NFL came over to you while you were standing there, and you guys carried on for quite some time.
We chatted. We every time
seriously,
that we're around,
what'd you talk about?
We touch base.
What'd you talk about?
We talk about the Rams and their re-entry into Los Angeles, and his emphasis that he says, we've got to make this work, meaning the move. We got to make this. We got to make the fans feel welcome. We got to get the franchise up and running. They got to win, and he says they've got this massive stadium coming out in Inglewood in 3 years, and but in the meantime, there's a lot of football to be played right there in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And
they've extended now 1 extra year there for the building process.
Well, yeah.
Right?
So it's at least 3 years, maybe 4. Who knows? But I mean, it's going to be the Wild West show there. But they've got to get a respectable team. You got to start putting people in there.
Now, I overheard him talking. Was he actually asking you if you would suit up and maybe play a couple of games? Was that what I was hearing?
No, that was the drunk woman sitting next to you.
Oh, that was okay. I heard.
Yeah,
I heard
the
that
difference between that woman and the commissioner.
It's a lot different. He seems like an astute guy, like a real kid, enthusiastically about the game, doesn't he?
You hear a lot of pros and cons about the commissioner, and every time that I've spoken with him, I spoke with him. I think the last time was actually one-on-one with him was at Merlin Olsen Services a couple of years ago. And then every time we're around, every time we're in the same area, we chat. And so, when you look at it, I like him. And I think that he's trying to do the best he can. He's got a lot of people he has to serve, 32 owners and a media and the whole thing about what's going on in the culture. He's got a heavy-duty job there, so he needs all the help he can get.
Words of Fred Dryer, and we're just getting into the show here today. Follow Fred on Twitter, Fred_Dryer, D-R-Y-E-R, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dryer, and you can email him. We always read the emails, Fred Dryer, FRED_DRYER, at crntalk.com. Hey, Fred Dryer and I are really enjoying Blue Apron. Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. They deliver the food. They give you the recipes. Everything is fresh. It's sourced fresh. It's all great, wonderful cooking. You go out and spend $30 or more going to dinner, $10 a person, and you dine with your family. Go and make the meals together. It's affordable, as I said, about $10 a person per meal. It's got variety. You can customize recipe. It's easy. It's guaranteed. And here's the special deal. You can get your first 3 meals free with free shipping if you go to their website. That's blueapron.com/dryer, D-R-Y-E-R. Again, your first 3 meals free. You get free shipping. Just go to blueapron.com/dryer, D-R-Y-E-R. You love the way how good it is. It feels good. It tastes good. It's blueapron.com/dryer, D-R-Y-E-R. Blueapron.com/dryer. Check it out today. Welcome back to the mellow sounds of the lounge.
That's you playing, isn't it?
The Sports Lounge. I'm Big Daddy Michael Horn, playing the vibe, playing the music,
You're the
playing the bass.
The xylophone.
I'm playing all the instruments. And the star of our show is a man we call Sultan, the Sultan of Safeties. I'm talking about Mr. Fred Dryer.
You're freaking me out.
Mr. Fred Dryer, welcome back to your show. I think that was your intro from Jazz Eddie.
Is that what it was?
That was Jazz Eddie.
It sounds familiar. It was either that or the guy at the gas station that I used to take my van to.
Listen, I got to hear.
Mr. Dryer, that van's so righteous and so bad.
That's good. See,
that
you played at the
the
Jazz Eddie show. Thank you, Mr. Dryer. I'd like to have that van. So I got to have your thoughts on this blockbuster Laker deal because you've been hammering on the Lakers to get rid of some of this salary cap and stuff. So talk about what happened here this week. It's a big trade.
Well, the new ownership, the revamped ownership.
Jeannie Buss in charge.
Jeannie Buss, who dumped her brother Jim and Mitch Kupchak, the old GM that was under the regime when Jerry West was there. And actually, Jerry West taught him all that he knows. But at some point in time, you stay in one position too long, and you wind up making a real bonehead series of moves, which the Lakers did. And what they did was...
We speak from experience on this show, by the way.
Yes, they do. They signed Timothy Mozgov, Russian center, for $65 million.
Now, Timothy Mozgov, did he ever play for the Lakers when they signed him?
I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
And then Luol Deng signed a 4-year deal for 72. There's 72 and $64 million there.
Wow.
And two people that don't play for them. They don't contribute, and they don't fit into the run and gun type of offense that is now prevalent in the NBA, which is represented by the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Warriors.
Yeah.
So what happens is that not only was this a bonehead move, it locked them in to the salary cap. They've got these players for the next 4 years making all this money that they can't go out and offer free agents. So it was a terrible business deal, and so they had to go. That stupidity can no longer. And the other thing else is, which was clear, the draft choices that were made under Mitch Kupchak were lackluster, and one of them was D'Angelo Russell from Ohio State. He was the guard. They were foaming all over about this guy 2 years ago, and they also got another guy there that in the draft the last couple of years. Not Jordan Clarkson, but they got him a couple of years ago. But
they dumped Mozgov and they dumped D'Angelo Russell, and they loosened up some salary here, right?
And so they loosened it up. They got rid of D'Angelo Russell and Timothy Mozgov to Brooklyn to the Nets.
They got Brook Lopez, right?
And they got Brook Lopez, who was an All-Star in 2013,
right.
and is a much better performer within the system that the Lakers want to run now. So they did several things. They got rid of 2 players that were a drag on the system. One was a huge drag on the salary cap, and now they've got added a player who's going to help. And already, if the Lakers keep the second draft choice, the second pick in the first round, that'll bring them, Lonzo Ball out of UCLA, and he'll be the guy that really begins to ignite what talent the Lakers do have, and they do have talent on that team. But they've got to find someone to drive. When you have a player on the floor, there's 5 of you. When you have one of them, like Magic Johnson, certainly, and like Alonzo Ball, when you have someone like that gets the ball and drives it back, they get back on defense. They make fast breaks offensively. Defensively, they throw the ball out, and he drives the ball down the court. Once you have someone that puts a demand on his teammates, team gets better.
GM Rob Pelinka and President of Basketball Operations Magic Johnson now saying they're going to negotiate maybe with the Indiana Pacers, trying to land maybe Paul George in a trade. They, they might be looking at LeBron James. There's some rumors talking about that as well. That'd be a blockbuster, wouldn't it?
Well, that's a couple of years away, but yeah, you've got to have
these guys have homes in L.A. LeBron Braun in Brentwood,
Yeah,
and
you got
Russell Westbrook.
what's his face? What's his name? George.
Yeah, Paul George
is an LA boy.
Yeah, and so they got a chance to kind of maybe revamp this team. I'm sort of excited about this. It's like a move because they had to actually. You got to look at the way basketball, any sports franchise now, you got to loosen up cash so you can go after the big boys and actually build your team. So not only do you have, hey, why don't you get a good player? You've got to be able to have the salary space to go ahead and hire these guys and offer things to these players because now that they're businessmen as well too. It's become a business. This game of basketball and hockey and
becoming
baseball.
a business. It's been a business for a long time.
But big time now.
Well, you've got to get the right people running it.
There you go. That's right, Fred Dreyer.
And if you don't, then you're going to be, the Brooklyn Nets, who now have Mozgov and D'Angelo Russell.
Take it easy.
And, well, look, I mean, they've got Mozgov over Timofey.
But did I tell you Jeannie Buss would do a stellar job? She has the business wherewithal because she's run. A lot of people don't realize she ran the LA Strings. She did the volleyball
yeah, we
stuff.
know what she did.
Well, she did. She took these jobs that nobody wanted, and she made them respectable. And now she's got the. She's always been involved.
Yeah,
but this is good. She's got the right people, and they're making the moves.
Well, yeah, she does. So let's see what happens. But she's had her thumbprints over some disasters there.
Everybody has.
Well, yeah, but that's look. The Lakers aren't crappy. Because it's an accident. They had someone at the cockpit steering that thing right into the ground, and so now they've decided, look, I shouldn't be flying the plane. Let me hire someone who knows. So they hired these two guys.
Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka.
And from what I gather, from what I know, and I don't know a lot.
You got any inside scoop
information? But I do
information?
have. What's great is that you have to go into the marketplace with a great deal of respect. Lakers never had that respect.
Why?
They do well. I mean, you gotta pay attention to. To the general manager who's not on steady ground.
They had it when Dr. Buss was around, but you're right. It's been some years since they've lost it.
And I would have loved that they would have found a place in the front office for Jerry West.
Me too.
But I think Magic and all those guys found it to be probably a rub. Jerry's 80, he's not going to want to, completely run.
Jerry has always stayed current with the way the game is played. And I will say this.
He's a great acknowledgement of talent.
People don't realize how much Dr. Buss did for the game of basketball. What a genius guy. He was able to run it as a business, stayed in the background, did such a fabulous job. And Jeannie Buss is that way, too. She stays in the background of the whole thing, not so much in the foreground. So I think you got to do that. You got to let the stars be the stars, but you got to get the right people in to execute.
Well, of course.
And there needed some execution.
But in the case of the Lakers, they really made some terrible blunders about 5 years there with Kobe. And I've always said this. I'm a big fan of Kobe.
I know.
I love talent. But they should have said, Kobe, we're not paying you $52 million here. You gotta leave. We got to now start turning this around. The people that made that decision to give away all of that stuff to get that center they brought in here was a failure. Didn't want to be here. They didn't dump him in that last year. It's a disaster. But now hopefully they're turning it around.
We continue straight ahead. It's the Sports Lounge with the one and only Fred Dreyer.
Finding the right software to run your business can feel as intimidating as starting a business in the first place. It can be done, but you need the right resources. Stop wasting time on free trials that go nowhere. Get advice from people who've been there on Capterra.com. Capterra helps you find the software solution for your business needs. It's an easy-to-use website with over 400 categories of software to choose from. Whether you need help with project management, customer service, or email marketing, Capterra is the place to go. They have thousands of ratings and reviews from actual software users just like you. And here's the best part. Using Capterra is absolutely free. There's no obligation. You don't even need to register. It's a free resource that will help you make the right software decision. Every month, millions of people use Capterra to find their business software. Join them in running a better business by visiting Capterra.com today. That's Capterra, Capterra.com. Capterra.com.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you need to know there is money available to you that can lower your Medicare prescription costs. How much can you save? Find out now by making a free call to Health Markets. They'll search from a variety of nationally recognized plans to find you the right coverage at a price that fits your budget. And they'll do all this valuable research for you at no charge to you. And remember, you may be able to save money on your prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge. Call Health Markets right now.
800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. That's 800-990-0351.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all 50 states and D.C. Service and product availability varies by state. Agents may be compensated based on your enrollment.
We'll be back. We'll be back here on the lounge. We've been gone. We'll be back. I'm Michael Horn with the star of our show, the Sultan. The Sultan of Safeties. A man that stares at me when I talk like this.
Well, people think that they got the wrong station.
No one
They got the wrong station.
Fred Dreyer.
We're losing
man.
viewership as we speak.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks.
Welcome back here to the show. So you and I this week, besides going to the Rams All Access we talked about, went into a luncheon for Al Michaels, and I know a lot about Al Michaels. Vince Scully was there, Bob Miller, both Hall of Fame broadcasters. Vinny, of course, retired from the Dodgers. Bob Miller retired from the Los Angeles Kings, who have hired like a young kid out of high school to take over.
Yeah, did you see that kid? You see that guy?
He seems like a nice kid. He's 25
He's like
or 26.
12.
He brought his fiance there, and I thought, wow, maybe I should have my fiance with me or something. And I asked you to stand up at that point, and you refused to. But anyway, we were there, and Al Michaels has a storied career in Hawaii as a sports guy, but he was for a few years there the voice of the Cincinnati Redlegs, the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a big deal when the Johnny Bench, Pete Rose Big Red Machine was going.
It was for Cincinnati, yeah.
Yeah.
And they got Jim Brenneman.
Marty Brenneman.
Is it Marty?
Yes, Marty Brenneman, and
he's good.
He is. He's good. Marty's been there forever. He's like,
he got there when I think after Al left, he came out here.
I almost took a job at WLW in Cincinnati, and I was very enamored with almost taking it because they took me out to the Three Rivers Stadium, and they introduced me to their he was brand new announcer Marty Brenneman, and I'm thinking I'm going to be able to hang out here and watch games every night. And I thought, wait a second, I'm a Dodger fan. I can't watch the Reds play.
Bad venue that place is. It's like playing. That's like playing in a bombed out.
Wait a minute, come on.
Cement factory.
Come on.
It's a terrible
Don't they have a new place now?
That and Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia were probably my two biggest pet peeves.
So let me ask you got some baseball news here. So Anthony Rizzo has been leading off for the Cubs and doing quite well, hitting home runs all the time.
Yep.
And he's this last week playing San Diego, and he smacks into the catcher and knocks the catcher over. Catcher has to leave the game for San Diego. And Joe Torre from the National League says, there's not going to be any kind of a fine or anything like that. And so the Padres manager says, we don't have to retaliate. He says that's a simple-minded kind of thing. You don't need to retaliate in a situation like that. Do you say that that's okay?
I saw the play, and I'm trying to figure out what is everybody bitching about.
Yeah, the catcher, was kind of blocking the plate a little bit. I
thought. He wasn't. He was to the right. He was on the infield side of the corner of home plate.
So then
the guy had an opportunity to put his foot in there. And here's the other thing.
So
what? So the guy blocks the plate.
Yeah, that's what I say. Block it. But that's a rule. You can't block it. It's the Buster Posey rule.
Well, they got to undo that because somebody
agree.
hurt their leg, and now we got to somehow, by doing that, you're going to make sure that no one gets hurt again. Well, that's just not true. You can get hurt. Ask Puig and ask Peterson about getting hurt. You're gonna now pass a rule saying you can't run into your fellow outfielder again. You can't run into the wall. You got to if you get hurt playing, you get a fine. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Trying to legislate the behavior and the playing of the game on the field. The guy decides, I think I can block the plate on this guy. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it. I think you
up
should.
until all the times that I've been watching baseball from the time I was 3 to right now. I mean, how many people got hurt blocking the plate? About 3.
That's it. And at least they took away that stupid neighborhood play at second base. Now you got to touch the bag with
the
foot.
the Dodgers capitalized on that in Cleveland. The guy missed it by 6 feet.
Exactly. You got to touch the bag. Can't be in the neighborhood. How about the Yankees hitting the Skids? Had a little losing streak going on, and they're saying now maybe they should have a different option at first base. They're not happy with Chris Carter. So what do you think? You think they should make some changes on it? They got that phenom out there in center field, the Judge out there, and he's going to be at the home run derby now. He's accepted at the All-Star game to do that. That's pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, it'll be good for him.
It'll be good.
But look, everybody goes through this, and the Yankees will figure something out. You make a trade. I don't know if are they legitimately competitive.
Yeah, they're still in the hunt.
Well, then they should
make a changes.
Be
there.
able to fix that first base situation.
Dodgers did that. Gonzalez.
By the way, Adrian Gonzalez, who was on the DL, with his bad back.
Yeah,
they haven't missed him at all. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way.
No, I know.
All I'm saying is the reality is
some good young
the
players.
beat goes on, man.
That's the name of the game.
That's what it is.
Adrian takes as much time as he wants to get well,
yes,
which he
that's
should
right.
do.
And he should. He has
to.
to.
They may need him at that time.
I don't think he's going to rattle and start playing before his back heals.
The beauty of having a strong bench. That's what's good for the Dodgers. They brought some people up from the
I haven't seen this team this deep in decades.
I know. It's kind of fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, you don't have Franklin Stubbs down there. I know that.
Is Franklin coming back?
Yeah, I think he's available.
That would be interesting. Bring back Crawford. Maybe they could bring back
he works
Crawford.
At Howard Johnson out
the
in
Red Sox.
Modesto.
This is the Mungle on Movies. I'm Matt Mungle. Transformers: The Last Night opens in theaters this week. John Turturro returns as Agent Simmons and speaks about the franchise.
I've had a very nice time, working with Michael over the years, and I've actually had a lot of fun. It's very different from what I normally do, but it's a different kind of challenge. I used to always think about the adults watching the film. I always thought, well, maybe I could throw in something for them.
For reviews, interviews, and more, go to mungleshow.com or follow me on Twitter at The Mungle.
From traditional Hawaiian weddings and vow renewals to your own unique ceremony, find out why Ka'anapali Weddings is the perfect place to say, I do. Create the memory that will last a lifetime at the place you and your family know and love, Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Imagine yourself and your loved one just steps away from world-famous Ka'anapali Beach in one of many wedding venues to choose from, including oceanside lawns, tropical gardens, or indoor banquet rooms. With your choice of catering, bar, floral, and musical options, you can make your special day customized just for you. Their wedding specialist will help you plan your dream wedding today. For more information, visit ka'anapaliweddings.com or call 661-0011. Ka'anapali Weddings, the perfect place to say, I do.
Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our Live Aid agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644. 800-915-2644.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
This is Bill's Yard, and Bill's a grill master, not a grass expert. Still, no weeds belong in this backyard barbecue kingdom. And with Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, Bill's greasy thumb is just as good as a green thumb. Because Scott's thickens lawns to help crowd out over 50 pesky weeds. So Bill can defeat invaders, green up his lawn, and hold his spatula high. This is a Scott's Yard. Pick up Scott's Weed and Feed today.
Yeah.
Playing the vibe by Mr. Fred Dryer. The Dryer vibe. It'll give you the hive. High five. Welcome back to the Sports Lounge. Don't frown. It's the Fred Dryer. He is in town. His Fred.
Well, you're rapping now. You got to give me an alert when you start doing that so I can go in the other room.
Did that all on my own. Wrote that one myself right in my brain as I did it.
We should make that available on their website so you can Mike Horn Sports Rap.
I'm going to do it for you. I'll keep them going.
Oh,
so listen, so this is the Cubs, been having their troubles after being world champions the first time in 100 years.
I like the Cubs.
Yeah, I like them too. And this Anderson Russell, the shortstop, anyway, his wife, Melissa Russell, has filed for divorce. And she's not saying anything about it, but Russell was accused of domestic violence on social media, and Major League Baseball is investigating the matter.
Well, do you believe anything on social media?
No. You have to check it out.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Give them the benefit and see what's going on.
Until they find out what's going on.
Now, also, the Detroit Tigers, they're not doing anything. They're saying that Justin Verlander might be, this season might be a trade for him to some team that's going to make things happen. Are we starting to look at that now? People that would trade?
It's interesting you say that because I wonder about these guys who sit. I know. Here's the deal. You get paid $100 and some odd million, $200 million, and you buy a home and you have your family, and you get your kids. You invest in the city as well as the team,
right?
And I always think about, at some point in time, you got to realize perhaps you're committing professional suicide by doing such.
The Dodgers are maybe interested. The Red Sox, the Yankees, even Houston, the Houston Astros. Do they need anything more help on Houston? I don't think anything. Come on. They don't need that. That's take a break from that. Now, what about this phenom? Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, said that Corey Seager is probably the best shortstop in baseball. Do you think that's the case? He had 3 home runs the other night. The kid's getting better all the time.
I do.
It's really good. And then there was this big deal going on. Again, a Tim Tebow story for you. The New York Mets general manager, Sandy Alderson's upset with the Yankees. They were playing, the Yankees have a team called the Charleston River Dogs, and apparently they were taking some cheap shots at Tim Tebow when Tim's Columbia Fireflies came to play over the weekend. And they were showing Tim crying, and they put up a John 3:16 sign while he Tim cried in Florida. They were saying he was Tebowing after the Florida lost in 2009 in
Why
the
was
SEC.
he crying?
They lost. Florida lost in the 2009 SEC title game in football.
Oh, the football thing.
And he was crying, and so they put that on the screen. I think that's kind of a cheap shot, don't you think?
Well, look at once you realize that you're a child of the media, remember I told you we went to dinner one night and I said I do not want somebody sitting over there taking a tape of me talking to some friends at a table, having at dinner, and have it wind up following me around the rest of my life.
I agree with you.
And so, there's certain things that you've got to fight for. And, if Tebow...
So if you cry, that's going to
be... which is a legitimate moment, but do you deserve to see it when everybody decides they want to see it?
And making fun that he's religious and putting up John 3:16. I think it's a cheap shot. Yankees are a bigger organization. They're a class organization. They should dump the guys that came up with that decision in their minor league squad or change affiliation, I would. Because the Yankees are the class act. They should not allow that kind of thing. Should not make fun of anybody's religious background.
For the most part, for people, there's so much of this phone stuff. It's amazing that there's any crime that gets away with.
People take pictures of everything.
They are more. There's more of an immediate response to people than there is with the police department.
They can take you with you now. They can go to their smartphone and dial a phone number, pound 250, pound 250, and hit send on your smartphone. The call will be answered. It's not a text. It's a phone call. Pound 250 and hit send. 4-digit pound 250 phone call. They'll ask you for the keyword. You say CRN Talk. It'll download our app right to the phone. They can listen to you anywhere.
Anytime you want, you just hit the app, and here we are.
What about this kid also? This judge on the Yankees, incredible. And this Bellinger, this guy from the Dodgers, is the Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
He's just hitting home run after home run. This
got
kid
22 of them, doesn't
he?
he?
And he didn't even start at the beginning of the season. He was in the minors.
And
he's
missed,
come back.
He missed like 16 games or something.
He's unbelievable.
No, he's got a hand-eye coordination. He has vision. That's hitting is vision.
It is vision,
and he's got that in spades. This kid.
Now we mentioned that collision at home plate between the Cubs and the San Diego Padres. So apparently, when Anthony Rizzo barreled into Austin Hedges of the Padres, and the Padres manager Andy Green said it was a cheap shot, and then Joe Madden said he doesn't agree with Rule 713, as you said, is known as the Buster Posey rule. So what happens? They go and they ask Bruce Bochy of San Diego, and he gets a little bunched up.
San Francisco.
I'm sorry, Bruce Bochy, and he says, I don't really care to visit it. He's talking about the incident with Buster Posey. He says, anybody who goes into that, they don't know what they're talking about, where Buster was at on that play. And he says, I'm all for it, and I think you should be able to run into the first baseman, the second baseman, the third baseman, too. That's what Bruce Bochy said, sarcastically.
Yep.
He says, I think that'll really make this game interesting. What's the difference? The catcher's gear is not going to protect him from a collision. So Bruce is for the rule because of what it did to his player.
Well, I mean, that follows, doesn't it? I mean, yeah.
Yes, I think,
But I mean, so when you see a catcher, if you're coming around third base heading for home, what do you have to do now? Just
you have to let him score.
You have to do you have to say, okay, there he is. I can either run into him, hope I jog the ball loose. I deserve part of that plate as much as he does. If he's going to block it, I'm coming into him.
I'm against the play. I think you should be able to block the plate, and that's it. And by the way, I didn't realize it's such a big deal. We were talking about Justin Verlander, maybe traded from Detroit. But he says now he thinks the league should crack down on sign stealing. I didn't realize it's as big as it is.
Oh, come on.
You don't think they try to steal the signs?
God.
He says it's okay when they're pitching regularly, but as soon as the guy goes on base.
This game,
Really, you're upset about this. Look at you.
No, well, look.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you're going to play baseball, you're going to play freaking baseball.
I'm sorry. Justin Verlander thinks it's a problem.
That's too bad for Justin.
You're a little upset about it.
Is he upset because I'm not pitching, so I don't care. But it's just stupid when you start cutting this sport up. I don't think the whale should have fins. Let's just streamline the whale and cut the fins off.
All right, we continue straight ahead. It's the Sports Lounge with the one and only Fred Dreyer.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Staples knows that when your printer jams more than it prints, it's time. When your paper supply is in desperate need of resupply, it's time. When the only printer in your office that's not out of ink is 3 flights up, it's definitely time. And it's times like these when pros turn to Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. And now, buy 1 ream of Staples 8.5 by 11 multi-purpose paper and get 1 free. A savings of $7.99. Staples, it's pro time. N624 in-store only.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
We're back in the Sports Lounge. Yours truly, Michael Horn, the one and only Fred Dreyer, going over stories of the week for you. So there's an interesting story comes out of Boston, the Red Sox Nation over there. Apparently, there's a young kid that had about 3 open heart surgeries. He's 5 years old. His name is Ari Schultz. And he learned he's going to be going home in just a few days, and his eyes lit up. And he said what he'd like to do when he get home is play some baseball. And then he said he had his shirt on, his Boston Red Sox shirt, and it was the Bogaerts shirts from Boston. And so Bogaerts is excited to meet the kid. He's going to go see him and do something nice for the kid. That's good when the players get going with this, don't you think?
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Yeah, so
brings people into the stadium.
Bring them in there. So I kind of salute the players that do that kind of thing. Bartolo Colon, who had a good season last year with the Mets, apparently he's going back on the DL for the Braves with a stiff back.
Is he on the Braves?
Yeah.
Was he 63?
I don't know. He's old. But you know the umpire Joe West?
Sure.
He's been around forever, right?
Yeah, Joe West.
Who do you think he thinks is the biggest complainer in all of baseball, American or National League? Joe West.
Pitcher, player?
No, he's a player. He's not a pitcher. Who's the biggest complainer?
That kid from Washington.
Nope. This guy's a veteran. Played for the Dodgers and the Rangers. Adrian Beltre. He said, is unquestionably one of the baseball's most beloved players, delighting fans, but Joe West isn't enamored with the guy. He said that he's got to be, they asked him who is his biggest complainer in baseball. He says, it's got to be Adrian Beltre. He says, every pitch you call that's a strike, he says, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he says, I had a game with him recently, and the pitch was right down the middle. He tells me that ball is outside, and I told him, you may be a great ball player, but you're the worst umpire in the league. You stink.
Well, there you go.
Beltre, is just a few hits shy of a 3,000.
No, he's very quietly got Hall of Fame numbers, this kid.
Now, I thought we talked about trades, and we're talking about the Lakers and salary cap and all that. You know, there's a lot of baseball trades, and they're talking about some of the worst trades. Pablo Sandoval was great with the Giants, right?
Panda,
Kung Fu Panda was there. He makes $95 million, signed a deal with Boston in 2014, and he's just not performing. He's played just 161 games.
You
in
know
the Red
how
Sox
I look
uniform.
at this?
How?
Boston's now getting return, just like like the Dodgers had to pay Carl Crawford. The Dodgers bought a bad Carl Crawford, and the Red Sox bought a bad Panda.
They were trying to get rid of those guys.
Well, they had like 6 guys that Boston said, if you want this guy, you got to take all these other guys.
So here's some other bad trades. Are you ready for some of these? This Chan Ho Park on the Rangers in 2002, a 5-year, $65 million contract. And the Dodgers got rid of him, and his ERA was 5.79. He never pitched a full season when he went on that trade. Mike Hampton and Denny Nagel signed with the Rockies. Remember in 2001?
Yeah.
And they bombed. 8 years, $121 million for Hampton.
They couldn't throw curveballs up there.
They couldn't. They were just bombed out. 5 years, $51 million for Nagel. And these guys barely played like not only 2 seasons there. Josh Hamilton, the trade from the Rangers to the Angels, that has to be one of the worst, don't you think?
That was a bad one.
That was a bad move for him. 5 years, $125 million.
He had other problems that they gambled on and lost.
Yeah, he had the drug problems over there. Carl Crawford from the Red Sox, they picked him up for 7 years, $125 million. That's why they wanted to dump that salary to the Dodgers.
Yeah, well,
that's a terrible one.
You want Adrian Gonzalez? You're going to take this guy.
Melvin Upton for the Braves in 2013 got 5 years at a $75.25 million. And this guy batted 184 in his first season, and then he upped it to 208 in year 2.
I sure hope people are getting fired making these decisions.
Jason Schmidt with the Dodgers in 2007, 3 years.
Ex-Giant.
Yes, $47 million. And he was 34 years of age when they got him, and he made just 10 starts. Missed all the 2008 season.
Well, he needed a retirement package, and the Dodgers gave it to him.
So what's the worst one out of all those? What do you think? Got to be Sandoval. Right?
Well,
maybe Hamilton.
Well, but whoever's the biggest flop with the biggest salary, that's the biggest story.
Yeah, because you destroy yourself with these games, and it's like you try to make these moves. Well, here's my question: why don't they check a guy out to see if, like Jason Schmidt had a bad arm before they go and put the money out there?
Well, that's just now you're asking people to think it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't do that
trade and not say, well, he's got 86 miles per hour, but I'm sure he'll get back up to 96.
I would tell a general manager who walked into my office and said, I think we should get Pablo Sandoval. He's hurt, but we think we can. I'd say, you know something? Not only are you not going to make that trade, but if you try to make it, you're fired.
When you were on the Rams, Carol Rosenblum would call you to your office to get an opinion from you sometimes, right?
On some things. Not trades,
Necessarily
not
wouldn't
those
listen to you,
types
but
of
he
things.
would ask you. He asked you if they should hire a new coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don Coryell could have come to the Rams. You pleaded with him
that's
to do
a
that.
whole
make that deal.
story that is just one of my one of the unsettling stories about my Ram career was the fact that they could have had Don Coryell and
You played for Coryell in college, San Diego State.
Well,
the Rams
he coached the Cardinals when Chuck Knox was here in 73 through 77.
Why didn't the Rams sign him when they had the opportunity?
They didn't want to give up a number 1 draft choice for him. And I'm thinking, you give up a number 1 draft choice to get Don Coryell, that puts you in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It does.
This guy's the brains of your organization, right?
Well, he's the guy that's going to light up the scoreboard. You're going to have to move to a new stadium to kind of have so damn many people wanting to come see the games.
Talk about the brains. That's the brains of Fred Dreyer on that. And you were very disgusted when you left, and you knew they weren't going to make the trade.
I drove home that night on the freeway, and he made me drive up at 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock on a Friday, and at 6 o'clock I drove back home, and I almost drove it into the ocean. I was so depressed.
The wonderful thoughts from Fred Dreyer. Stay with us.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's to see the memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. See the art of the masters, an Italian town square complete with storefronts of old Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, fairy lights from cathedral ceilings, and our ancestors smiling down at you from the family love altar. The romance of Romeo and Juliet, and find the mystical Room of the Moon. And don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, make our own sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. From pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, just $18.95, and Angelo's and Vinci's has been named 2 years in a row Best Italian Restaurant in Orange County. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurant, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you need to know there is money available to you that can lower your Medicare prescription costs. How much can you save? Find out now by making a free call to Health Markets. They'll search from a variety of nationally recognized plans to find you the right coverage at a price that fits your budget. And they'll do all this valuable research for you at no charge to you. And remember, you may be able to save money on your prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge. Call Health Markets right now.
800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. 800-990-0351. That's 800-990-0351.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all 50 states and D.C. Service and product availability varies by state. Agents may be compensated based on your enrollment.
Hey there! Did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you could make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? It's true. According to the 2012 U.S. Census Bureau, college grads with a bachelor's degree make almost twice as much as high school grads. Now, going back to school is easier than ever at Independence University. Log on and complete coursework from the park, or the beach, or even your couch watching the kids. And Independence University gives you the tools, a free tablet and laptop for undergrad students to use and keep when they graduate. That's right, get a laptop so you can go to college from anywhere. Take the first step to a new career in business, information technology, healthcare, or graphic arts. Call to find the online degree program that's right for you, and you could be on your way to increasing your earning potential.
800-989-1361. 800-989-1361. That's 800-989-1361.
We're back in the Sports Lounge, coming to you each and every week at this time. Michael Horn, Fred Dreyer. Glad to have you all with us. So, what do you got planned for the weekend? You got a big weekend of excitement, Fred Dreyer?
I might re-listen to our show.
It's good.
And
it's on in like Pittsburgh and Arizona now. A lot of markets picking it up. Las Vegas.
Yeah, we're having a lot of feedback from everybody across the country, and we're really happy about that. So when we do our show here, we now know that it goes out to many more people than it used to.
You know, this picture of you and I that the Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters, not that you and I are pioneers, but it was great to kind of hang out with Vin Scully and Bob Miller and Al Michaels.
Yes.
That was kind of these pictures are pretty nice that are up there. There's a picture right there of you and I and Vin Scully is good. And we don't forget we're on Roku and Tiki Live and at crntalk.com, so you can look and listen to all this. And then here we are with Bob Miller and Al Michaels. And that's a pretty good picture of you. You're a very good, strapping kind of boy.
Well, I deserve to be in a line with taller people.
You do.
Yeah.
People wanted to know what the story was behind this when they saw this on Facebook. We got emails on this. You were invited to come at this luncheon.
I was invited, and I accepted graciously, and I had a good time there. Got to see. I haven't seen Al Michaels in a long time. And of course, Vinny, haven't really been in his presence for a while. But since he left the Dodgers, I haven't seen him.
Yeah, Vinny looked like he was in good shape, seemed to be enjoying himself, always got that good smile about him.
90 years of age.
Going to be 90 this year. That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, well, he might be 91. I think is he 89 or 90?
I think he might be 90. I think he said he's going to be 90 in a month.
I think he's going to be 90 in a month.
Yeah, in about a month. So
yeah.
That was good that he's going to be there, and it's just great to see all these guys, hanging out. We, a lot of people loving Al Michaels because not only is he a good sports reporter, but remember when they had that earthquake during the World Series?
Let me tell you something about that. I was doing Hunter in 1986,
right?
And NBC that was doing the World Series
right.
between the A's and the Giants up in Candlestick. That's where it was.
It wasn't a Candlestick.
And they sent me up there to do an on-air promo of Hunter.
You were there for the earthquake?
So they sent me up there.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, it's shake, rattle, and roll.
Were you at the game?
No.
So where were you when that earthquake hit?
I missed it, I think, by a day. But I was up there, and
so you got out in time?
I was interviewed on camera, and then we watched a little bit of the game. Then I took off back to the airport. But then I think it was the next game, the place came apart.
Wow.
It flattened the Oakland Bridge.
Did you have any little tremblers like when you were there? Did you feel anything while you were up
there?
I
didn't. No, I didn't.
Warning shots that come out sometimes?
No, I didn't. But I do remember the 1904 earthquake up there.
You remember that? You remember that one? You were there for that?
I remember how frightened I was.
You remember that Chicago fire too, don't you? Where the
and the cow,
Mrs. O'Leary's cow,
the dumb cow, the stupid cow. I knew the cow was. I knew
kicked over the lantern.
I knew the cow was going to blow the whole.
You
afternoon.
told them in 1904 they should use Rayovac batteries, as I recall at the time, and they did not listen.
I said, don't put a torch. Don't put a torch near the hay
flashlight.
Pile. Don't. Please don't set the hay on fire.
Always ahead of your time, Fred Dryer.
Well, look, you try to help as best you can, no matter where you are, no matter what generation you're in.
Mrs. O'Leary got that flashlight that I think you were able to carve out of a piece of ice and also boil it on her stove to show her how good the flashlight was in 1904.
In 1904. Yeah, I did. I do remember that. Thank you.
Follow Fred on Facebook, facebook.com. Yeah, you can go there at Fred_Dryer, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dryer, and Fred Dryer at CRNTalk.com. Final thoughts from you, Fred?
Well, listen, our sound is stretching across the United States and around the world. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Enjoying all your favorite CRN programming is easier than ever. It's right on your TV, through your local cable provider, and on the web at crntalk.com. But when you're on the move, stuck in a plane, train, or in your car, catch up on all the